Welcome to Horrors Yet Unseen, the podcast where we assign each other horror movies to watch and then talk about it so our spouses don't have to listen to us go on and on and on about scary stuff they don't like. I'm Zach.
And I'm Steve. Let's talk about some scary movies. By the way, there will absolutely be spoilers in this show. You have been warned. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Steve.
How's it going there, buddy?
What's up?
We are now starting the podcast.
Oh, we are now starting. Yes.
Yes.
Great.
As you know. Tell me, Zach, how was your week 2 of the spooky month of October gone for you in any way, shape, or form?
I am so glad you asked, Stephen. I don't have Letterboxd pulled up. It would be helpful to prepare for the podcast.
Well, we did have a couple of things to talk about, but
yeah, of course. It's I wanted to just refresh my mind as far as what I specifically watched.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I watched that one and that one and that one, and okay, it was not a great week.
Oh,
it was not necessarily a great week. It's not necessarily a great week when the highlight of your week is Leprechaun 2, and that was a bad one.
Oh, really?
So when I said, "Hey, I want to watch these in order to try to find out where they needed to stop," it's after the first one. They didn't need to make the second one.
I have heard the second one is bad. I heard the second one's the worst.
Yeah, like they don't even do nothing. I don't think there's any reference at all to the first one. So in the first one, like he gets basically like melted or whatever, goes in the well because they throw the or hit him in the mouth with the 4-leaf clover
right
gum, right? What was again the best line? That's one of the best lines in cinema history, and
100%.
And so, no reference to that.
Really?
Completely different story.
Totally retconned?
I don't think it was retcon. It's just more like they forgot that they made a first one. This feels like a first one. But they called it Leprechaun 2. But they're not building on the story.
I wonder if is the titular Leprechaun a different Leprechaun than the first Leprechaun?
No, it's the same guy. Warwick Davis. It's the same guy, same character, same everything.
Are they all like duplicates of the same Leprechaun?
What?
Like every Leprechaun movie, I wonder if every Leprechaun movie is the same. They're all clones of a different Leprechaun, so they don't have to worry about like the continuity because they just find another Leprechaun and give him plastic surgery to make him look like Warwick Davis.
You're already thinking about this more than the writers thought about Leprechaun 2.
Oh,
you're giving this more brain power than they did. Don't give them too much credit. These are a bunch of dinguses who made a movie in 1994. And it's not great. Now, having said that, will I continue to watch the Leprechaun series? Of course I will. Of course I will. I'm an American, and that's what we do. We just put our head down and nose to the grindstone, even if it's a miserable nightmare. Ignore all the facts that you
veiled racist things about the Irish.
Well, I mean, I didn't go there, but I didn't because I didn't need to. But I mean, fine. If you want to think,
I can say it because
secret
I'm Irish.
racist. Apparently, Zach's a secret racist because he watches Leprechaun stuff. I don't know what's happening. No. Am I also a secret racist for liking Lucky Charms? Gosh,
you probably have some sort of Irish descent. Ancestry in you. Yeah.
I do, 100%. My mom's last name is McCullough, so suck it.
Oh,
gosh,
wow, that's a strong reaction there, buddy.
Yeah, wow. Well, you just called me racist, so back off.
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah,
The
We'll let the jury
filmmakers are
decide.
racist.
Okay. In my defamation case. Anyway, I don't have one of
I'm gonna
those.
cut all that out.
It's fine. Of course, you're gonna cut it all out. You're gonna cut all the bad stuff about you, but leave it about me. It's fine. Okay. Well, Shelby, friend of the show, Shelby was supposed and current Settler of Satan member, Shelby was supposed to be watching the Leprechaun movie. She was going to leave us a voicemail because I forgot that existed, and she reminded me. She goes, "I'm going to leave you a voicemail," and I was like, "What?" She goes, "I said for the podcast." She goes, "Yeah, I'm to call the number." I'm like, "I forgot that existed. I forgot. No one ever calls anyway."
Yeah.
And I stopped promoting it a long time ago. But she did send me a text message that says, "This movie sucks, FYI." So
Official Shelby review.
that's and I wanted to be like, dude, you need to leave us a voicemail, but that's fine. We could have played your voicemail on the podcast, but no, you forgot to call apparently. Anyway, so yeah, that's how this week is going. I believe next week, let's see, or this upcoming week, I should say. How the heck do I get there? Lists. And
I'm still having a hard time finding your list.
dude,
I bookmarked it and everything.
It's not complicated.
Well, apparently it is.
Oh my gosh. Do I gotta
here we
send
go.
it to you again?
It. No, but you still have it. Still like it's hidden, and I can't like look at it in your profile and find it or anything.
Fine, I'll make it. Oh my gosh, I'm being such a diva right now, dude. Okay,
No, I got it. You don't have to. You're fine.
Public list. It's now a freaking public list.
Finally, dude.
Oh my gosh. So this week, Little Shop of Horrors, Bird Box, and Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. That's this week.
Yes.
So hopefully those are decent.
Yep.
Because I have qualms about. I mean, The Faculty was not great.
Yeah, could have been better.
Alien, we can get into that in a minute.
Okay.
Leprechaun 2 was not necessarily bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was it's not an Oscar worthy performance by anyone.
I don't think they were shooting for that.
But it's the real chip on my shoulder about it is the fact that they didn't do. There's no call to the first one at all. It's like they literally just went, "Oh, we're gonna make another movie." If the franchise is like an anthology series like that, I'm down with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
is it?
I don't think it is. I think that they might have forgotten. I don't think that anyone told them that there's a first one of these.
Huh. Maybe it's like the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 are basically the same movie.
Yeah.
With some stuff tacked on at the end.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's that they were trying to recreate that success.
Maybe. Again, I think we're using more brain power in this particular conversation than they used in.
Probably true.
I think you should still watch. I'd recommend anybody watch Leprechaun 2 at the end of the day, even though it's not great. But
you are aware that people don't usually like to put themselves in uncomfortable situations.
Oh, says the person who gave me Gerald's game. Shut up, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
It's the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my life. Like, I literally paused it 11 minutes in and went, I don't know if I want to watch this. And I genuinely contemplated not watching it.
Yes, 11 minutes is a rough spot.
And then you were like, we'll just get to 15. And guess what, Steve? It didn't get better.
No, it gets worse.
It gets a whole lot worse.
But it's a different kind of worse. It's a different kind.
Anyway, that's for the review at the end of the podcast. Yeah. I got qualms about stuff, Steve. But also, what don't I have qualms about? I have qualms every freaking episode.
You change your last name to Qualms?
Zach Qualms. Zach Qualms. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I have a couple things I want to go over.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Let's go.
So, Variety put out their top 100 horror movies. Obviously, the definitive guide to all horror movies ever.
Yeah, Variety.com. That's the source of. That's where I look.
No, and if you're in the biz, as they say, I don't know if they say that. If you're
The
in a
best
business,
horror movies of all time. Now is
mhm.
how much? Because I heard that Longlegs was the best movie of like the millennia. So
Yeah.
is
So,
this
yeah,
how hyperbolic are we talking here?
we are talking a list made by some snooty people in Hollywood.
Okay, so
So
just incredibly pretentious. Okay, that's fine.
so I
Also,
mean,
you can't say what you can't be definitive like this on something that is subjective. But again, I have qualms about everything.
absolutely.
Zach's
That's why when I said
qualms
definitive,
corner.
it's a joke.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
okay, let me spoil it for you. Number one, best movie, horror movie ever of all time.
Time out. Let me guess. Let me guess. Let me get three guesses. Okay. I'm without looking at it because I'm at
Okay,
100. Repulsion is 100. I've literally never heard of this
never
movie
heard
in
of
my
it.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm going to say 45 of these movies I've probably never heard of ever. That's right accurate. It's not less than 35. It's probably not more than 45 though.
It's better than you thought, but yeah, go ahead.
Maybe. All right. So I'm going to say The Shining, number one.
No, no,
No? Okay. Okay.
it's in there.
Alien.
No,
No, not number one. Number one. Halloween?
nope.
No. Okay. What is it, Steve?
The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No. No. No,
Right?
Steve. It's not allowed to be number one.
Guess what? Number two, The Exorcist.
I'm done with this list. I'm
Number
done with
three
it.
is Psycho.
Okay, I'll give you Psycho.
Number four is Jaws.
I've never seen Jaws. Okay, if I gotta be honest with you, I've
What?
never seen Jaws.
It's I don't know how it holds up now. I've seen it. It's been 1,000 years ago, but
Wow.
and then
Thousand
number
years.
five is Rosemary's Baby.
I've never seen Rosemary's Baby.
Which, by the way, if they've come out recently with the Apartment 7A, which is like a prequel, and I talked about this last time.
Uh-huh.
I think it's better than Rosemary's Baby, myself. But that's
So
probably
you mean
just
the
the
new
time
one
of it.
is better than the old one?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think that it's just more of a time, so Rosemary's Baby came out in 1968. So the vibes of the movie and the expectations are different. So I don't
Right.
know.
That's what we have decades of better storytelling than 1968. Yeah,
Let's just say different. Yeah,
better.
better. Yeah, okay. Number six, Night of the Living Dead from
Wow.
1968. Number seven, this one surprised me. Audition, the 1999 Japanese body horror film, which disturbed me. This is the one that has a very, 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 very graphic depiction of a guy getting his foot cut off.
Audition.
Yeah.
I've never seen this movie. Night of the Living Dead, number 6. Audition,
And then
1999.
yeah,
1999 was a pretty, like, the 90s were a pretty crazy year for horror.
yep,
Like, a lot of wild stuff.
yeah. So I mean, Audition was pretty wild. I wouldn't put it that high though. Number eight's Frankenstein from 1931.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No.
It can't get number 8. And here's why. Okay? Here's why, Steve. I know that you're dying to know. Here's
I'm
why.
dying to know.
Number 1931. Okay, back up. It's 1931.
Right.
Second, it's 1931. Okay, that's 1 and 2. It can't be. Also, I've seen this movie, and yes, if I was in 1931, this movie would be terrifying. But it can't just get the number 8 slot just because it's on reputation alone.
So it says the
That's like
ultimate
saying like, oh, well, Stanley Kubrick is like the best director ever. Time out.
Right.
Time out. Like, we can't just give Stanley the award just because he did great things then. There have been better directors now.
Yeah.
Like, having
So
said that,
the
Michael
first
Jordan
sense,
over LeBron, so suck it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Goat.
the John Elway all the way.
Well,
um,
wow,
the
John
first
Elway, man.
he could beat Michael Jordan in tennis. I think.
Yes, I think in tennis, if Michael Jordan and John Elway play each other, John Elway might be able to beat Michael Jordan.
Aren't they tennis players?
Honestly, I don't know their day to day. I don't know their day to day. But I also forgot you were from Colorado there for a second. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
There you
Denver
go.
Broncos, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the first sentence of the Frankenstein review on this list: the ultimate and perfect monster movie. What are these people smoking at Variety?
Yeah,
Okay, number 9 pissed me off. You know how I feel about this movie. Salo, the 120 Days of Sodom. It is child exploitation film. Don't watch this movie. It sucks. Sorry, I'll stop.
you're
Number
allowed to
10,
have qualms, Steve. You're allowed to feel.
I have a serious qualms about that one. Number
Yeah.
10 is Carrie from 1976.
Okay, that's fine. I'm down with that one.
And then 11 is Alien. So, and then it's just, I'm not going to go through all of them, but
No, we might as well. 12 is King
that's
Kong.
100, dude. Halloween is number 16.
13 is Silence of the Lambs. See, Silence of the Lambs should be up on this list.
18 is The Shining.
I'm fine with that. The Shining sucks.
Get Out is number 20. It should be. It's better than that. Get Out.
Yeah, that should be higher. What the heck is Don't Look Now? From 1973.
Scream is 25.
Dude, Scream is the best movie ever.
It looks like they're just like, it's like they took a bunch of movies from different decades and shuffled them together.
That's all they did.
Because
they forgot that this project was due, and their boss was like, "Hey, you have that list," and they were like, "Oh crap, ChatGPT, help me out.
Totally
Shuffle this list. I'm going to give you a list of 100 movies.
List.
Please shuffle it." And then maybe they moved stuff around to make it look like they didn't use AI, but this is 100% AI.
Hereditary is number 36. So lots of 1930s movies. 28 Days Later is number 42. There is no place that I can watch this movie. No place that I've found.
What do you mean? Like you can't rent it?
I can't rent it. You can't rent it. You can't stream it. Nothing. Maybe I could buy it like on a disc from Amazon, but I mean,
is that real? You can't.
28 months later, which is very good, by the way. That's the sequel of that. It's available, but not 28 days later. I don't know why.
28 days later. 28 weeks later. Dude, why can't you buy this movie? You can't rent it on Apple. You can't rent it on iTunes.
Nope. The Thing is number 46.
Of course it is.
The Vavitch is number 49.
It should be higher.
Yeah.
Why can you not watch 28 Days Later?
I don't know. Something permissions and rights.
But that's dumb.
Yeah. Funny Games. Have you ever seen Funny Games?
Fun and Games?
Funny Games. Funny Games. It's number 60 on this list. It is disturbing in many, many ways. That movie put me in a bad mood.
Funny Games. No, but it's on my watch list.
Candyman is 61. I'm just kind of going through the ones I know. Gremlins is number 62.
Dude, freaking Gremlins is on this list. Oh my gosh.
Planet Terror is on here.
What the heck is Planet Terror?
The most talked about half of Grindhouse is Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof, but taken as a standalone movie, it's that way. It's whatever where she has the gun as her leg.
Why is Planet Terror on this? Dude, Bruce Willis is in this movie.
The Babadook, 66.
How is Planet Terror even remotely on this list of 100 movies? You mean to tell me we can't find just one that's better?
Right? I mean, Possession. Sixth Sense is number 68.
How is
The
she
Wailing.
firing
Okay,
this
that's good.
gun? How do you fire a gun from your leg like this?
Uh, that's why it's a. Oh, come on. Sorry to answer your question. That's why it's a movie, and I have no idea. But that's right. The come on is Hostel Part 2 is number 71.
Okay, I think we have to not view this list anymore. It's
I think
just
I'm going to
making us
stop.
upset.
I
Okay,
know.
here's the deal.
The
We're gonna
Descent. Come on.
we're gonna take a look
Sorry.
at this. Okay, it's fine. Listeners, we need you to know we're on it. We're gonna fix this list. We're gonna fix this list for everyone, and we're gonna report back to you on our Instagram page of the official top
Right.
100 horror movies. Um,
Okay.
because
Okay.
Variety does not know what they're talking about.
Number 92. The fact that this is even on a 1,000 list makes me mad. Human Centipede number 2.
No, not number 2. No, you can't go number 2 on that one.
That is above Event Horizon. And it's above Dead Alive. It's above Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I swear.
Yeah. Okay. We're on it, Steve. We got homework to do this week.
Why did I put that in the show notes to talk about? It just made me mad.
Well, sometimes you got to preview some things before.
I did. I looked through it, but I didn't realize I didn't see the things that made me mad. So I'm sorry.
It's not a big deal, though. It's also not a big deal. Like Variety made a list. They were wrong. It's very clear that they're wrong. We have strong qualms about it.
Oh, I've got more qualms.
Oh wow! I don't even know what are stronger than qualms.
That's a good question.
Okay. Well,
I wrote this down because I was really excited about this the other day. We've talked about like our first scary movie experiences, sort of.
It's like one of the first podcasts we dropped, right?
Right. And I don't remember what I said at the time, but I finally remember what it was. The movie Something Wicked This Way Comes from like 1982, 83. It's from the book by Something Wicked. Ray Bradbury. It's a Ray Bradbury novel. And this movie, for some reason, was on. It was like on just regular TV around Halloween or something when I was a kid, and this scared the crap out of me. Absolutely scared the crap out of me. And it's really good if I remember correctly, and it's like 3.3 on Letterboxd. So it's got pretty good high reviews. But I just remember like there's a scene where there's a Ferris wheel. I'm sorry, not the Ferris wheel, but like the merry-go-round thingy, like the horses that go up and down. That this guy stayed on it too long, and he it like was a time fast forward thingy, and he was a kid when he got on, and he stayed on it like for a little bit, too many revolutions, and he was like this dead old man, like a dried up bones and stuff at the end. I'm like, whoa, like it stuck with me. And when I was kind of flicking through lists of something or other, I saw it. I'm like, that's it. And you can only get it on disc from Amazon, so I'm gonna have to get that. It was very good though, and the guy who plays the big bad guy is Jonathan Pryce, who is in many movies and stuff. He's the guy who looks exactly like the Pope.
Yeah, 100%.
He was in like all kinds of stuff, like
G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra.
Yeah, I don't know that
the
one.
Brothers Grimm. G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Game of Roses. Game of Thrones.
He did play, yes, in Game of Thrones. I was more being tongue in cheek about this guy's acting career.
Yeah, you're picking the best ones, most popular.
Glenn Ross. He was in that.
That's a good one.
He was in The Two Popes.
Right.
Yeah. What a Girl Wants. He was in What a Girl Wants.
Yeah, you can stop now. Anyway, so I thought I'd give that as a recommendation to terrify your children.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm going to write that down then. That's going to go on the watch list for this week then.
Last thing I wanted to bring up is so my birthday was earlier in the week, and then we didn't have a chance to celebrate it because my wife was sick and everything, and lots of going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so we celebrated it yesterday. It was kind of a day dad gets to do whatever he wants to do sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
So I slept in till 10:30, which is
There you go.
mind blowing that I could do that. Even I didn't think it was possible. And apparently I need more sleep. And then we watched. I asked the family if they would watch a movie with me, and they said sure. And I said okay. It's going to be either you pick from Oculus.
Okay.
I'm going
Okay.
easy on them, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oculus. That's first out the gate right there. Okay. It's only going to get better from here.
Oculus, long legs. So I give him a choice between Oculus, long legs, and The Ritual.
Dude, The Ritual would have been a way better watch. I mean, Long Legs is a flawless movie, okay?
Yeah.
Flawless.
But I think The Ritual would have been a little bit easier, like introduction to some of this kind of stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What did you end up throwing them in?
Well, so we watched the trailer of all three of them on YouTube.
Okay.
And they felt that as a whole, all three of them felt that Long Legs looked the least scary.
Oh, the naive. Oh, the naive. And
So-
Steve, the devil, was like, oh yeah, that's not a big deal. Great, fam. That's awesome. Not a big deal. It's definitely not
totally
a
correct.
horror. It's not a horror bear trap that you're going to get your leg caught in and have to saw off your foot. No way.
Christy didn't like the Ritual looked too jump scary, and Oculus looked too thought experimenty.
Oh no, I think it's actually pretty good.
All
right, so what's the review?
So they were in.
How far in do you guys get before people were like, no?
So we got the whole thing. They saw the whole thing.
Okay.
And they were enthralled the entire time. Like,
for real.
These people did not pick up their phones, dude.
That's that's the highest form.
Right. At first they're like, we had their phones. I'm like, guys, try to watch it without your phones. You can see stuff. And they're like,
because you can see stuff.
I'm like, see how many Satans you can find in the background.
Oh, that's a good one. It's like a Satanistic Where's Waldo.
Yeah, exactly. And Noah saw some I hadn't seen, so. But we watched Long Legs, and my wife was really unhappy with me afterwards.
I can imagine. Yeah. What part made her cringe the most?
I think it was the thing that made the entire family react the strongest was.
Let me guess. Is the very beginning where the guy gets shot in the head?
No.
Oh, I thought that because it's such a startling moment.
Well, that was startling, but they were still on their phones at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hey guys, you might want to see this, and they're like, huh? And they almost missed it.
Yeah, this guy's gonna get his head blown away.
Guys, this is the best part.
Exactly. Yeah, this guy's like, oh, I'm gonna be super masculine, blah blah blah, whatever, and it's, hey sir, can you please, FBI, can you look at this? Bang! No, I can't look at it.
So the thing that bothered them most were the scene where Long Legs, when Lee Harker is 9 years old. It's not the very, very, very beginning scene, but it's like that scene picks up later in the movie.
Yeah, several times.
And it shows when the mom meets him back when she was 9, and she's like, "Who are you?" And all this. What are you doing? Yeah,
is that part?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like out of the blue, like this weird discordant singing.
Oh yeah.
They're like, "What the heck was that?"
Yeah. Because at this point, you don't know that he's this old glam rocker. You have no clue throughout the whole movie that he's. Right. You just think that he's this funny looking serial killer or whatever. So yeah, the fact that he bursts into song there is very odd and disturbing. And
it comes out of nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere. Yeah. Which is exactly what you'd want out of Nick Cage as a director. But from the audience perspective, it would make better sense for you to know that he's a glam rocker and this is why he looks this way. Like for them to do some sort of backstory, but they don't. They just jump right in.
Yeah. And the other part that really really bothered them was when he's getting interviewed by the police, or by Lee actually, when he
Mhm.
slams his, well, he does weird singing and stuff at that point too.
Of course he does.
But when he slams his face on the table to kill himself,
Yeah.
that they just like were stunned. The whole
Yeah.
family. I looked around and like
That's the
jaws were
appropriate.
dropping. It's appropriate, yeah.
Yeah.
But and the very very end, they were like, "That's where it ends."
Yeah.
Boy, that, and Christy's like, that was way heavier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it ends with her killing her mom. Her
Uh-huh.
boss is dead. Her boss's wife is dead, and it's like her mom's dead.
Yeah.
It's like it's heavy.
Yeah.
And
But they don't ever kill that other doll, do they?
well, not in the they don't show it because her gun's out of bullets.
Mm.
But then, I mean, I don't know if they go back and do it or what. I don't know.
You would hope that they would at least kill that doll. Because the
But
whole thing's going to start all over again with the police chief's daughter, or yeah,
yeah,
right? Because there's something about that metal ball.
right,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is a
and
wild ending.
also the scene with Kiernan Shipka where she's the girl like who survived and she's in the asylum. When they're talking to her, she's like, that's still so creepy to me. That's the creepiest scene in the entire movie for me. That
Yeah,
girl talking. Part of it's the way she talks.
yeah,
Like, yeah, oh, I don't even know what she says, but boy.
yeah, yeah. She
Anyway,
like leaves out words. Like if him's wanted me to,
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
jump, I'd tickle my peaches to jump out this window right now.
See that gram coming up to me?
It's creepy, dude. It's creepy the way that she talks, but it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, so good.
Wow. So
Anyway,
they watched Long Legs. Okay.
and so I
So
traumatized him properly.
at what point are they going to be like, we don't want to watch movies with dad anymore?
Noah kind of made that clear.
Okay.
He's like, I enjoy these kinds of movies while I'm watching them, Dad. But afterwards, I hate how I feel. And
Oh,
they're
come
messed up.
on,
So
Noah.
he's like, once in a while, maybe. That's about all. And Hannah's like, that was a great movie. And Christy's like, I love you, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna I did this twice where they said watch anything, and I gave him like horror movies, like Midsommar and Longlegs, the two easiest movies to get to.
Yeah. Uh huh.
I think I played my hand too strong or whatever. What are the
You definitely did.
phrases?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You need to
I
dial
went
it
too
back. You
strong.
need to be like, we need to watch. We can watch The Lion King. We can watch Hereditary, or we can
I did
watch
watch that with
like,
Hannah. Yeah,
yeah, or we can watch. I don't know.
I mean, I should have gone into something like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. They've seen that and they love that one. But I mean, like something
Yeah.
like start there and like ease in instead of
Yeah.
like let's watch Longlegs.
Yeah. We can watch Marcel the Show.
There you
We
go.
can watch Mayhem,
Mm-hmm.
or we can
We've seen
watch,
that.
yeah, or we can watch Tucker and Dale. Like those are the,
Right.
yeah, those are the selections. Yeah. I don't know if I sent this to you, but I also forgot to put it in the notes. Did you see that David Howard Thornton's cousin owns a theater outside of Kansas City, or in Kansas City, and the church there, or a church there, was um, condemning them showing Terrifier 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hilarious to me. So they have this. I'm going to send this to you. because it's
That I
ridiculous.
didn't get to go. I wanted to go see Terrifier 3 last night. But I didn't get to
Did you
see that
really want
movie.
to go see it?
No, I
Honestly,
did not. No.
okay. Yeah, I literally put it. There's a complaint line. I don't. Did I show you that one too?
Yeah, you did. That was pretty good.
Yeah, call Terrifier, call the Terrifier complaint line today. I don't know. I've not called the number, and I kind of want to see what it's all about. There's no way that there's a real person there. 772 TERRIFY.
Keep Christ in Christmas. We
Yeah,
protect the Salamic. We protest the Satanic Santa. Oh my word! Terrifier 3 movie showing here.
the Salamic Santa is way better.
Yeah,
That's
I
what you
mean,
were
to
gonna
me,
say
it
now
kind of
instead
looks
of
like an advertisement for the movie. Terrifier
well,
3 movie showing here.
yeah. It's
Satanic Santa. That sounds fantastic. Let's go watch the movie.
I'm very curious about their yeah. Oh man, I keep Christ in Christmas. Like so that's their stance. And they're like, "Oh, well here's a
Oh,
horror. This is a horror um
horror Christmas movie
horror Christmas movie."
that doesn't have Jesus
So,
in it.
well, I think it'd be funny if he just like chainsawed the entire manger scene. Like that'd be really funny if he like broke into a church play and then just like ran through the crowd. That'd be
Uh,
really funny to me is if he broke into a church and like freaking threw a Molotov cocktail up on stage. That'd be funny. It would be funny.
it would be
I'm
funny.
going to hell for saying that, but it would be funny, right? It would be
Oh,
funny.
100%, 100%.
It's not. It's yeah. I don't know. I think it would be because it would be. Now I don't know that that doesn't happen. Here's the thing. I don't know that that doesn't happen. I know nothing. I shouldn't say I don't know nothing. Twitter exists, and so I know more than I want to.
Yeah, you got a little spoiled on purpose, didn't you?
I did get a little spoiled on purpose. I have purposely tried to spoil this movie because, listen, I don't want to see it. I will see it because I also do want to see
Well,
it.
I mean, at this point, it's like it's part of it's for the podcast. You got to do it for the podcast, right?
I just think I'm just mentally ill. I think I'm just not okay. I think I need more therapy
That's
than I'm
possible.
currently getting. It's all of it is very plausible. And so, yeah, it's just curiosity. I have to see what the heck is going on. But I have seen enough. I have seen several things that I won't spoil on this particular episode. But I did find it funny that
I've heard some pretty brutal things.
yeah, Art the Clown's cousin owns a theater in Kansas City, and the church was protesting this movie, and that's just comical
Were
to
they
me.
successful?
You know, I it's the number one movie in America, so I'm gonna say no.
Shut up! It is
Okay,
seriously.
I have problems with this number one movie in America. I don't know what else is playing. Also, like our country is broken. That this is the number one movie in America.
Yeah, that's true.
What does it take for this movie to be number one movie? It's going to be box office sales. So this movie probably just simply came out at a time when nothing else really popular was like Beetlejuice is not going to be number one because
Right.
it came out what 2 weeks ago. So it's 2 weeks old. So there's no new gigantically popular movie. So by default, this is the number one movie in America.
It kind of
Just
is.
the
Yeah.
same as Longlegs is the scariest movie of the last decade. Like,
Yeah,
calm
I
down.
was looking. I was trying to find a movie that I thought maybe we could go to the theaters as a family to see a movie for my birthday, but none of them looked good. None of them.
Yeah. I still haven't seen Beetlejuice. It's coming out on digital, and I kind of want to. But I also like continue to pay for the Cinemark Movie Club. So every month, like 11 or $12 comes out of my account. I haven't gone to the movies in months now, so I probably should.
Yeah.
I probably should go. Casey, okay. Here's it's not guilty pleasure because I don't feel guilty about it. I love Wicked. Okay, the soundtrack is incredible.
It slaps. Yeah.
I still have not seen the actual musical. Okay, um, which bothers me to no end that I haven't seen it. Okay, uh, it also bothers me that I'll never get to see Kristen Chenoweth and
Oh,
Adele Dazeem ever
mm.
perform. Did you get that reference? Anyway, it was a joke. Anyway,
Adele
so
Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem. Yeah, her name is Adina Menzel, but I said Adele Dazeem
Yeah.
because of the John Travolta joke.
Right.
Anyway,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I just slipped it under the radar, but I also wanted credit for it. Anyway,
Yeah.
so they're fantastic. I'm gonna go see the movie. I already have pre-qualms about this movie.
Prequels.
I have pre-qualms, Steven. I keep calling you Steven.
What's fine? What prequels do you have, sir?
I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how they're gonna ruin the original. That's it.
Because you know they're going to.
Yes, because I know that they're gonna take some creative liberties. They're gonna do that. I fine, but something just be Steve. Just make the movie. Also,
Be.
Jeff Glow. Yeah, just be. Yeah, do you not understand? Like, don't add to it. Just
They
let
might
it be.
not.
Let it
I mean,
alone.
oftentimes when they do movies of musicals like that, they just straight up basically film the musical, like Les Miserables.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want. Anyway, Jeff Goldblum is probably. I think he's in this one. Anyway,
Is he?
so yeah. But also, Ariana Grande is Glenda, and I have problems with that because Ariana Grande, she
It's too
puts too
short.
many runs in things. Okay, it's too much.
Yeah,
She's
she does
too
like the runs.
talented, and she's
Yeah.
very talented, but
Yeah.
she does she goes run heavy in a lot of her stuff,
She's got
and
the runs.
she has major runs, dude, like crazy runs, and I'm worried that she's going to ruin songs. I'm worried that she's going to try to top Kristen Chenoweth, and she can't do that. Just leave it alone. She's going to sing
Yeah,
popular, but she's not going to do it correctly.
You can't top Kristen Chenoweth, man. That's hard.
Can't do it. Okay. Anyway, I'm still going to go see it. Casey, I said all that to say Casey and I are going to go to the movies at some point.
Oh, good. Well, you got tickets.
I got free tickets. Yeah, I really want to call this. By the way, I really want to call this number.
Are you calling the Terrifier line?
I might call the Terrifier line.
Do it.
I really just want to do it. Can I do it though? Oh my gosh, I absolutely hate the fact that they put numbers to these or letters to these.
Zach is dialing the phone as we're listening.
I'm trying to get it.
Zach's trying to remember how phones work.
I'm actually, honestly, that's exactly what I was trying to do. I was like, how am I supposed to call this? I don't know how. How do I call this from a picture? Where's the app? Exactly. I didn't know where the phone app was. So I love the fact that you called that out. All right. So
my phone app has been like moving backwards on pages of apps.
It's purposely hiding.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny if Christy every night when you go to sleep changes where the location is. That'd be a good prank.
That would be the one way to like make my children like my daughter lose her mind, especially. She would
Change her on her home screen.
Oh boy.
It's such a simple prank, but it's so gratifying to me. Okay. TERRFF. How do you spell it?
IFY?
IFY. IFY. Okay. Here we go. If we get a real person, I'm hanging up.
Thank you for calling the Terrifier 3 complaint line. If you felt offended, angry, disgusted, hurt, pissed off, nauseous, or experienced symptoms such as vomiting, loss of appetite, or loss of consciousness, or you would just like to get anything off of your chest after watching Terrifier 3, please leave a detailed message after the beep.
That's fantastic.
That's so good.
And they're going to use it for marketing.
Are 100% going to use that for marketing. Like then they have like the next 2 weeks of yeah.
That's great.
That's amazing. Great. Oh, that's fun. The marketing team is doing a great job as far as Terrifier 3.
Yeah, they really are.
They're putting a lot. They're putting any money that they didn't put in the actual movie because they want to keep that low budgetness. They're using appropriately in other marketing ways. It's
right
with the popcorn bucket and all of that stuff. That I think that's really good. So Smile is doing the exact same thing that they did last time, which slightly bothers me because I kind of want them to do something different.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'll still go see your movie.
Yeah.
So, well, you want to get into what we watched last week?
This week?
Yeah.
I did discover that you can only have one tab open playing a Netflix show at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I watched mostly some TV show stuff.
Great.
I've been doing a rewatch of Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen Dexter?
I have not seen any of the earlier seasons. I think I came in with like 2 or 3 seasons left to go. But I don't
There are 8 seasons.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten how season 4 made me want to stop watching it for a while. Because this whole thing with like 1, 2, and 3, it's like building up this relationship with this woman who he marries and he has a kid with and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Lithgow comes along. And John Lithgow, it plays another serial killer. And like the Trinity Killer or something. And it does not go well for Dexter's family. And that just pissed me off. And it was like so sad.
Right. They kill his wife, right?
Yeah. At the end of 4. And they leave his baby in a pool of blood like he was left as a child.
See, I knew
it was like,
that.
It was almost too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, last time I watched it, for the first time I watched it, I took a year-long break, to be honest. And because it just hit me so hard. And but the rest of it's great too. So, and I watched and there's a show called Slasher that on Netflix that they have 3 seasons on Netflix. I guess there's 5 seasons out there. I didn't know about this show before now, and I'm not sure where to find the other seasons. I haven't really looked into it, but I watched the entire first season of Slasher and it was pretty darn good. A little bit derivative, but I mean, it's all the slasher shows are, but there's some actually, honestly, some pretty unique kills in that season.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started watching the 3rd season because I just heard it was better than the 2nd season. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's called Guilty Party, and there were some. I think I would honestly say for the season 1, there were some Terrifier level gore, and season 3 actually, to be honest, both of them. But anyway, and I saw The Faculty, which I gave it 3.5. I thought it was pretty. If it was fun, but it had people like I didn't expect. Like Jon Stewart was in it,
right?
And like a little baby Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was fun. It was not perfect, but it was okay. Till Death I watched with starring Megan Fox, and her husband dies and she's handcuffed to him, and it's one of those like you got to survive situations, and everybody's coming after her, like some assassins show up to the house and stuff, and it was a good movie. I thought it was good. 3 stars on that one. And then I watched It's What's Inside. It's a new movie that's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's about this guy comes to a party with his old friends, and they have he has this device that switches their bodies with their brains. So everybody does a mix up and they play a game, and then
Mhm.
things go horribly wrong. And it was 3.5 stars. It was fun. It was a fun watch, but it was a bit confused. It was hard to get through a little bit because it was confusing.
Mm.
They did a pretty good job because the movie is predicated on the fact that the people in the body that you're looking at are not supposed to be the people who are inside the body.
Right.
So trying to and there's like a lot of characters.
Right.
So I have all these characters and which one's inside who, and then at what time, and so they did it actually pretty decent job about showing that, but it was still a bit confusing.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like because I watched the trailer, I saw you watch this, and I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to watch this. I watched the trailer again, and I kind of got a little lost even watching the trailer because I was like, without good character development, I don't know how you're really going to pull this off.
they
And
I think they did enough character development, but I still didn't. It wasn't long enough for me to really know the names of the people.
right.
And there's some of the folks kind of looked the same,
Yeah.
and so like which hot chick was that? Which
Right.
big strong dude was that? And
Right.
so that was a little bit. So my review was confusing but fun. It was fun.
Yeah. The trailer was the thing that kind of did me in. Like okay, honestly, I didn't like the lighting. Like that green, blue, red, yellow use of like spotlighting and whatnot. I was like, nah, this is childish.
Yeah, a lot of it they made the lighting all red when they were showing who it was, really, and then they like pulled back into like a different color lighting to show who it looked like.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I knew what they were trying to do.
Yep.
And at the moment I was like, I'm not in the mood for that.
Mm.
It's not for me right now.
Right.
It's fine.
And then I watched The Thing, the original Thing from '82. So
All
I
right.
didn't watch as much as usual, but that's probably good. What about you?
Well, I kept going in the movie The Front Room because apparently I'm just going to slow roll that into oblivion. And honestly, also like the church trauma that is kind of that one of the main characters is dealing with in here does rouse some things up in me. And
In which?
The movie called The Front Room with Brandy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Church trauma, huh? Interesting.
Yeah. So the basic premise of the movie, without giving anything away, is Brandy and her husband. I don't know what their character names are. Brandy and her husband are, or Brandy's husband is basically estranged from his stepmom and his dad. And his stepmom is overly like even the church that she goes to, people are like,
she's like super,
she's sold out for this, like next level
fundamentalist, pain in the butt person,
crazy. And his dad dies and they have to basically take her on, but she's going to give them money, her inheritance or whatever like this. So, and then we go from there. But but it's also just like he knows at like growing up with this woman, he knows how miserable she's gonna make life. And Brandy's like, oh, it's not gonna be that bad. And he just then storms off. And I'm like, listen to him. Listen to him. Because she's gonna freaking weasel it her way in. And so, anywho.
Was it a good movie? Did you like it?
I am half-ish way through this movie.
Oh, okay.
I watch it until my church trigger gets too maxed out, and then I gotta stop. Watch something else.
Want to hear something interesting?
Here it is.
Brandy grew up in the same version of church we did.
Oh, for real?
Totes for real, yeah. Yeah, she which maybe why you can empathize with it. I'm not sure. I mean, she
No.
didn't write it, but
I was gonna say I'm not empathizing with her at all. I'm like,
yeah, I
your
know.
husband is right, bro. Knock it off and get this hoe out of here. But you can't say that. You can't say that to a TV.
Right. I did notice
It's not
that
real. It's not real.
It's directed by Max and Sam Eggers,
Mm-hmm.
who are they're twin brothers, and they're also the brother of Robert Eggers, who wrote and did The Lighthouse and The Vivitch, etc.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're, I guess, horror runs in the fam.
Yeah. Well, also trauma does too. So So yeah, I've been slow rolling that one.
Yeah.
I watched The Faculty. I gave that a 2 stars, which in our definition, what is that? 2 stars is it's a movie. Okay, that's what this is. It's a movie.
Definitely a movie.
I did not like it.
Really, I kind of thought you would.
I thought I would too. That's why I freaking chose it, because I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun."
Goofy enough and weird, yeah. Huh?
Yeah, okay. The only kudos that I can give this movie is like whoever wrote it genuinely is really trying to capture actual high school and not just like movie hyperbole high school. Like this is real high school, like the high school that I remember.
Yeah, I remember we were texting about this when you started it off, and you said this is like a little too much like high school.
Elijah Wood's character is me in high school, like, and I really resonated with it, and just this nerdy kid who just gets beat up by everyone and trash talked by everyone, and
yeah, when you mentioned that, I thought he's not going to like this movie.
I'm not going to like it.
Yeah,
and I didn't. I didn't like that aspect, though. I will say it was very authentic, and so I have to give it props for being authentic. It was more just the overt out the gate toxic masculinity from the T-1000. I mean, like that was crazy.
That was brutal on being on like
football coach. I mean,
fire that dude.
First dialogue, the first line in the movie is this high school coach who is screaming at the top of his lungs at these children.
Yeah.
These
like
children.
F-bomb City.
And he is,
kids.
And I was like, whoa, dude, you're going too hard on these people. And, I don't know. I felt some kind of way about it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. That's why I said it's a movie. Like that's what where I landed. Then I watched Alien. Okay. Not that great. The original Alien. 1979.
Right.
Ridley Scott. Okay. It's not that great, Steve.
Okay.
It's not that great. I think
would it have been good if you watched it in the 70s? Do you think?
Of course, if I was alive in 79 to watch this movie, and I was of a formidable age, yes,
Let me guess, it was too slow.
It's garbage. Yes, this movie could have been garbage. This movie could have been cut down like a third of this movie. No. Let's back up. A quarter of this movie could have been cut down. Okay. I didn't write down all of my qualms.
Okay.
I'm sure if I called Casey up here right now, she could list some of my qualms, as I very readily told her all of them. She goes, "You got to just not watch this movie." No. So, why is there a cat in space?
Wouldn't you like a cat in space?
No, cats are terrible. Terrible.
Are you a cat hater?
Hater. I want to be a cat annihilator.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
We talked about
It's
this,
not.
actually.
It's okay. It doesn't make plausible sense that there would be a cat on the spaceship because you have a high-tech spaceship, right? There's no
That
kitty
everybody's
litter. There's
smoking
no meow
on.
mix anywhere that I can see. No one has meow mix. Okay. There's no kitty litter anywhere. There's no box. There's no box. So that means this cat is pooping and peeing anywhere. I don't know how it's getting fed. This is a deep space mission. Enough for the people to be cryogenically
Right.
asleep or whatever the case is, right? Who's taking care of this cat? Who's taking care of this cat during the months that they are asleep? Possible years that they are asleep.
The cat's frozen with Ridley.
It doesn't say that. It
It does at the end. She gets
at the
frozen
very
with
end because she has a soft spot in her heart for a cat.
I mean, she's the original childless cat lady
I don't understand it. I don't. The cat
who
bothers
kicks
me.
the alien's butt.
Well, I wouldn't say
Right?
that she kicks the alien's butt in the first one. Not in the first one. The second one, maybe. The second one is. I think the second one is the epitome of what you think of when you think of an alien movie. Not this first one. This
Have you
first
seen
one.
the second one?
No, not yet. But I think the second one is the one where she's in like that yellow robotic squared.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the one where she's really kicking tires and lighting fires. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
But
that's,
this one, this is the one with the cat and Sigourney Weaver in her tiny little underwear.
for no reason whatsoever. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. All of the men are in diapers, and I don't understand that. Okay. Anyway,
And she's got these tiny little underwear on.
but she's just got these underwear on, and I'm like, what the heck is going on with these underwear? Also, like, I think that her part was supposed to be played by a man. I think that I remember hearing that when I listened to this episode of the You Run podcast. Like they really reviewed this, but this Ridley really genuinely knows how to write idiots because every single character except for Ridley is
All
just
of them.
a raging buffoon.
Yep.
Even the science people. And I would assume that if we're in 2052 or whatever and you're on a friggin' spaceship, you have some level of intelligence. But yeah, it also bothered me that the science engineer was a robot because I immediately was just like freaking Prometheus. I immediately said that out loud. I was like, this is Prometheus. Or Prometheus is just a remake of Alien. And because this is Michael Fassbender.
Right.
And I was bothered by that. I was bothered that I got hooked into this Prometheus / Covenant timeline. Like those are really great movies, but really those are just freaking remakes, which means that
But they're remakes that are better than the original.
they're better than of course, but it bothered me that they're not original. It bothered me that they're not a continuation.
I see.
It bothered me that they are, hey, let's take these aspects and recast people, but they're really the same. Whatever. And that every movie basically does that, so I probably shouldn't whine too much about that. I didn't understand why this movie gets the acclaim that it does. It's the same as The Shining for me. This movie gets acclaim because in the time that it came out, the people who are writing the articles now were at the formative years in 1979. And they
100%.
liked this movie. And it's the same reason that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is #1 on Variety's list. It's not because it's a great movie today. It's because it's in there for what it did back then. And I also understand that too. There was a lot of long pauses, and I did not like the pacing of this movie. I thought it could have been better. But this movie is the epitome of like, if people could do something wrong and you're screaming at your TV for them to be like, well, don't do that. Yeah. Watch this movie because I'm screaming. They're like, oh, well, Ridley's like, okay, he goes there. He's investigating the eggs because he goes down in the alien hole, right? And by the way, as soon as I saw that architect or whatever that is, I was like, Alien Covenant. And he goes down in the hole, and then he goes, "Oh, it looks like these eggs that haven't been touched in years." And I was like, "Then don't touch them. Then don't touch them. Then don't touch them." And then he goes, "Oh, I slipped.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Why? If you're slipping, you're too close. Don't do that." And then he gets up close and personal with one. And he's like, "Oh, something is moving on the inside because I'm going to shine my light through it and see." Don't do that. Don't do that. Well, we have to discover, or else we don't get our money. You're all going to die and not get your money anyway. Go back home. Go home. Well, pack it up. Be done. And then he gets eaten. It goes through his mask. And Ridley's like, "Hey, we have a protocol. He'll be 24 hours in quarantine." And the science officer's like, "F that." And I was like, "Dude, you're the science officer." This is before I knew that he was a robot. But I was like, "You're the science officer." And you're like, "No." And then the final nail in the coffin of these people are complete morons was when the face hugger is off the guy. It's upside down. And they are 6 inches from it.
Right.
And they're just poking at it. Oh, here's an alien, an unidentified alien species. And with no hazmat, no mask, no nothing. Just raw dogging it here. You are 6 inches from this thing and poking and prodding it. And it was on your friend's face. You cut one of its fingers, which you claim is a finger, which is gross. And acid leaked out onto the ship, and you are 6 inches now. And I was like, I'm done with this movie. I'm done with this movie. These people are stupid. They all deserve to die. They all deserve to die. Anyway, that's my alien rant.
To me, one of the bummers of that movie is, so agreed. It was great for its time. It was a great base movie for the franchise. It's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
But like, it blew my mind when I found out. I saw this on a TikTok or something. The xenomorph, the alien itself, is actually only in the movie for 4 minutes.
It's not long. It really is
4 minutes
of
screen time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, I mean, for 1979, it like the level of buildup that it had and the tension and all that stuff. It's just it's a movie for its time, but
yeah,
it's just not for now. Like I showed my kids this movie quite a while ago when they were younger, and they're like, "Yeah, it's fun."
Yeah, I'm gonna watch number 2, but right now, having not seen number 2, I think that when people think of the Alien, like the original movie, what comes to mind is probably Alien 2, not this original, because this original one was a snooze fest of a movie.
Yeah, I think I've seen, like, in rankings and stuff, 2 is usually the top.
Yeah.
And
so because you have more alien screen time more than likely. Like, they probably have taken all of the feedback from the first one and applied it to the second one. Because Ridley is a good director. I like Ridley Scott. Though I don't entirely understand why we're making a second Gladiator movie, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. It's money. It's money is really what it is, and it bothers me that it's money. So anyway, Denzel just needed more money. It's fine. Whatever. So Alien I gave Alien a 2 because it's a movie. I didn't understand it. Again, I got caught up on the cat. I don't understand why there's a cat there.
Yeah. Well, I the thing that always bothers me whenever I watch that movie, and this movie also, by the way, is the basis for, like, if you watch, now that you've seen this, if you can watch Event Horizon, like the cast, it's basically a duplicate of,
right.
There's like the guy who's like the ship is kind of a cowboy. and then there's like the snarky black guy,
Uh-huh.
you know, and they're smoking. The smoking online on the TV or on the spaceship was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be an oxygen rich environment,
Well, it has to
and
be.
I mean you get like
Uh-huh.
no,
Yeah,
no, no.
I don't. It's also like, it's also interesting, like, I don't know, just like the male female dynamic. There's another female character in this in the movie Alien, and I don't understand what her role is at all.
No.
I don't.
Apparently
She's there to fill space. Is all she's there for, because she doesn't have any major dialogue at all, and everyone else is a main character, and she is, honest to God, I don't understand what her role is, unless there is some sort of like deleted scene or director's cut where she has more of a role. I don't know what her role is outside of looking it up on Google. But
she's the navigator.
okay, fine. I will believe that. That's about as plausible as I can guess.
Yeah.
But also,
So
like, nobody cared that Ridley was in charge, like, because she's like,
right.
oh, the protocol is, if Dallas, I think his name is, if Dallas is not on the ship or whatever the case is, I'm in charge, and she's the one making the quarantine thing, and she goes and has a conversation then with the science officer, uh fake Michael Fassbender, and yeah, and then and I don't know what his name is, but I also, like, I've seen him in a million different things.
Ian Holm,
Is that what his name is?
the robot.
The robot, yeah.
Yeah, Ian Holm.
Yeah. He is she goes and addresses him. She's like, yeah, why did you do this? And the basic premise is like, I'm the authority figure, but nobody really cares. And so and then I also got bothered when you're like, some people call this a feminist movie. And I was like, no, it can't be that. Or maybe it can be, because it's really freaking nothing else. Anyway, I watched Leprechaun 2.
I was gonna say that so regarding, I just found this out recently as well. Apparently, the when they wrote Alien, they didn't define the gender of any of the characters,
Right.
and so and that's what, like you mentioned, that they were thinking about, like, it seemed like that Ripley was going to be a man.
Yeah.
And apparently that woman that you mentioned, that, like, the navigator.
Yeah.
I looked her up just now. So her name was Lambert or something. Turns out she's a transgender woman. So she used to be a man. And so, like, literally everybody on that thing was, like, biologically a man except for Ripley. And so they're all, like, they're all not women except for her. And so, like, the only female, like, assigned
She's
female
female,
person.
but she's female. Like, Ripley is female, but I think the character is very masculine. Like, I think they maybe wanted to write it that, I forget what specifically. Like, again, You Run Podcast did like a better job of
Yeah, we
explaining
should,
all of that kind of
link
stuff.
to them. Yeah.
Because they dive into all of that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So the front room, the faculty, Alien, Leprechaun 2. I think I gave that 2 stars because, again, it's just a movie. That's all it is. It's just a movie. That's all it gets. I watched Gerald's Game. We'll get into that in a second. I watched Evil Dead Rise. I watched that last night. It's pretty awesome. And then I followed that up with The Greatest Showman. And so, because, come on, it's The Greatest Showman.
Isn't he dreamy?
Of course he is. Yeah. I had goosebumps the entire time.
Right.
Best soundtrack. I'm telling you, it's the best score of any movie that's ever been made. Prove me wrong. Fight me.
I still haven't seen it.
You've not seen The Greatest Showman? Steve. Anyway. Speaking of, your birthday present's in the mail. I'm sorry that's not there yet.
It's okay.
I'm bothered by it. It's fine.
Well,
I can't control it. I can't control it.
let us move on to the movies we watched that were assigned to us by us.
Yes, thank you. That was a great way to put it.
I don't think mine's going to be terribly long. I watched the movie from 1982 called The Thing. You ever heard of The Thing, Zach?
I have heard of The Thing, yes.
So interestingly enough, if one goes to almost any site, but like in this case, let's say Letterboxd, and you browse by genre and choose horror, and then they are sorted by popularity by default, and the most popular one is Get Out, and then Midsommar, of course, and down from there. But if you sort film by highest rating, average highest rating, number 2 is The Thing.
Yeah.
Number 1 is Perfect Blue, which is an anime movie that I have not seen yet that I really want to see, apparently, because everybody gives it really good reviews. And the third is Haunting of Hill House. And then Silence of the Lambs, Psycho, Michael Jackson's Thriller. How's that on here? But then Alien is right after
Michael
that.
Jackson's Thriller, dude.
I know, but that's not a movie.
Basically a movie.
Okay.
It's a short film.
Okay, short film. I'll give that.
Yeah,
But
it's also Michael Jackson. Like, come on. Directed by all the best people. I don't know who's directed.
Oh yeah, it is directed by somebody fancy, isn't it?
Yeah, who directed that?
John Landis.
John Landis.
He did American Werewolf in London.
It's fantastic.
Animal House, Three Amigos,
Come on,
etc. Anyhow, so it's highly rated. And by the way, when you go to Letterboxd, I don't know about the app, but on the website, if you filter for horror movies, like the letters bleed and stuff on the logo. It's cool.
I love that.
So The Thing is available to watch lots of places. Amazon Prime has it, and Peacock has it, just included, along with AMC. But you can also rent it, of course, everywhere you want. Letterboxd has it a 4.4, which is very high for any movie on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
And a lot of other places like IMDb, 8.2 out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes, 85%. Reviewer rating, 92%. Customer viewer ratings, popcorn meter, 92%. That's high. And then so every place, great reviews. And I was like, is this another one of those? In 1982 it was fine, but now it's like meh. And I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a solid movie.
It is a pretty solid movie.
4.5 starred it. That was really good. I watched it with Noah because he's been wanting to watch it because he keeps seeing stuff about how fantastic a movie it is. And it was kind of fun because we could. It was still like, it's still 80s enough that you could make fun of it pretty easily.
Yeah,
didn't have fun with it.
Yeah,
but it's still really good. Like oh my goodness, I hear people talking constantly about the practical effects in this movie. They are top notch, dude.
They're pretty great.
They are creepy.
Yeah,
and impressive, I gotta say. And the movie starts off pretty hot. It starts off with like a helicopter inexplicably chasing a husky dog across Antarctica and shooting at it and missing really badly all the time. And then the copter blows up and, like, it's like, whoa, what's going on? And the only thing that I just made no sense to me at all, almost ruined my watching experience, Zach, Kurt Russell's hat. What in the world is going on with that hat?
That's a
looked
great
it up.
question.
That hat
It's in the Smithsonian now, probably.
probably is. You can get a recreation of that hat for $410.
Christmas. I'm gonna get you that for Christmas because I know you love it so much.
There's a website called The Last Best West, and they make like fancy cowboy hats. And
Do
they
they like
have
recreate like John Wayne's hats from like?
probably.
Oh, I'll
But
definitely
this
get
is
you some of those.
the largest, stupidest, dumbest looking hat I've ever seen in my life. It's like a cowboy hat you put on sideways. Oh,
I have to remind myself of this hat because I don't remember.
Adam Savage from what's that movie, that show?
Mythbusters.
From Mythbusters. Yeah, Adam Savage from Mythbusters actually has a episode on his channel, or a video on his YouTube channel, where he recreates this hat. And it's like iconic because it's so large and stupid looking.
Yeah, it is. Okay, this hat is stupid looking.
It's just so. And apparently, Kurt Russell didn't like the hat, but John Carpenter had already done some establishing shots, like from far away, with him wearing it, and so they couldn't do it because it would be like they couldn't take it away because it would mess up the continuity. So he's like, fine.
When do movies really care about continuity at all? Like, come on.
I mean, I guess if you're John Carpenter, you do.
Yeah,
But this movie is really good. It's and I was thinking after I was during and after I was watching this, like every single sci-fi every single sci-fi TV show I think I've ever really gotten into has at least one or two episodes that are basically the thing. Like X-Files. I think there's like a episode of Stargate, or two or three episodes of the Stargate shows. There's also all of them have some sort of episode of the thing, basically, where they're in the Antarctic. There's ice. Something comes up, then it like takes over everybody. So they're not all exactly the same, but the way that the people were like molded together and became like this giant thing, for lack of a better term, it reminded me a lot of the creature at the end of Evil Dead Rise.
yes,
And the weird mix up of weird people at the body parts of like the llamas and stuff, the alpacas in The Color Out of Space.
yeah,
All very, I could tell all this stuff is very, callbacks to this movie. So
right.
not only did this movie, one reason I was impressed was not only was it like groundbreaking and original for its time, but it's also spawned a lot of stuff that's become tropes now.
Right.
And when you can like establish tropes, that's pretty impressive. So I really liked it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but one last bit of info. Wilford Brimley, the guy who plays Dr. Blair.
Amazing. Yeah. Diabetes is in this movie.
Diabetes man himself. Okay. I just had my 49th birthday. Okay. I'm almost an old man.
Almost.
However,
okay.
Wilford Brimley in this movie, when he filmed this movie, he was 48.
So how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like 70 years old. Because Wilford Brimley in this movie looks like he's 65.
Yeah.
He looks old. I mean, he's got part of it's the bushy eyebrows, but
What is up with old men just
face.
not trimming their eyebrows?
Right. I mean,
it's not that complicated. I have thick eyebrows, and even I trim my eyebrows because I have to, because I don't want to look like an old man.
Well, Donald Moffat, the guy who plays like one of the other people in the movie, he's got like these monster eyebrows. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like the movie of big eyebrows. But I thought it was good. It wasn't predictable completely. It was a little bit predictable, but like I don't know. I thought it was well done. Good movie. Good scary time. I mean, not so scary that it's not like current day level of scary.
Right.
It's
Of
very
course.
much 80, but 82, I would have crapped my pants.
Right.
Not just because I was 7 years old, but you know,
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying. So I totally recommend this movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a classic for a reason, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here's the question. Was Kurt Russell
Mm-hmm.
the Thing at the end of this movie?
No, you think so?
I'm just asking the
Hmm.
question. That is like the walk away question, because this movie ends with a slight small cliffhanger, in the sense where did they actually kill it? Because there's two remaining characters left at the end of this movie, and both of them are suspicious of each other that one of them is
The
the
Thing.
replicant, or whatever they're
Mhm.
calling this, the Thing, right?
Mhm.
So the question is, are they human at the end of this movie, or are they not?
So the vibe I got, and so I have to maybe watch the end of it again, because it does end on without answering all the questions. You're right.
Uh-huh.
They're both dying, and they're like, "There's no way we can survive this freezing cold after the fires go out,"
Uh-huh.
because they've literally blown up the entire station, which seemed to be short sighted to me. But there you go.
Well,
I mean, I
ideally.
understand they don't want to get out to the rest of the world, but it looks like they're just like kind of resigned to dying. And I don't know that the Thing, if it was the Thing, would do that. I don't know.
I mean, the Thing can survive in the cold,
Yeah,
so it's not concerned. But I
it's
think,
true.
yeah,
It can, can survive being
the
frozen in for a long time.
you should watch it. You should rewatch, at least rewatch the ending, because yeah, I knew that was
Okay.
a question kind of going into the movie, so I was very aware that something may happen, and it does. But the ending, John does a great job of leaving it maybe on a cliffhanger, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, he did a good job. Good job. This is a part of a trilogy. He like it's not actually part of a trilogy, but there are 3 films of his that are like considered something trilogy.
What?
Yeah. Let me see.
The John
The
Carpenter
Apocalypse trilogy.
trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
The Apocalypse trilogy. The Thing, The Prince of Darkness, and The Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness. Yeah.
In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah. So I've
Okay.
seen In the Mouth of Madness and The Thing. I have to rewatch those. I've never seen The Prince of Darkness, but
Here's the thing. I need to go to YouTube and find out and have somebody explain how these are trilogies to me. How these are connected.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand how they're connected.
Hmm.
Well, okay. I'm glad you liked it. 4.5
Yeah.
stars. That's pretty. Let's grab the popcorn bucket, in it.
I believe so.
I'd grab the popcorn bucket of that if it was like that face, that head that had like the 8 legs that came out of it.
Dude, the upside down head spider bot thing, that was the funniest thing in the world.
Or you
so
could
funny.
go like torso of somebody, but with the teeth. That was also a crazy scene that he like stuck his whole hands down, like he's going to defibrillate the guy. And then it opens up and he sticks his hands down and it crushes his hands. He's like, ah! This
I did
is
not
so
expect
good.
that, we'll be honest.
It was all of the kills in this movie were actually really funny. Like if you really look at them, because it's all cartoonish to me. And
very.
Yeah. That was hilarious. Anyway, but I think you could do like the torso.
Have you seen the
That'd be good.
the 2011 version of this movie?
I have, and it's not great.
Really?
The first one is way better. They rely very heavily on CGI, and it's
probably bad CGI.
Bad CGI, and it takes away from the movie.
Yeah.
It's not great. So
I'll just not worry about watching it then.
Yeah, pass that one up.
Cool. Well, tell us about the movie that you watched, sir.
Steve, you assigned me the movie Gerald's Game, 2017. A Mike Flanagan classic. Mike Flanagan? Isn't that right? Why does that sound wrong?
Yeah, this is Mike Flanagan. Yep.
It's Mike Flanagan. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
it sounded wrong. 91% certified fresh, Rotten Tomatoes. 70% audience score. First one in a while that I've gotten both high scores. Because typically it's either certified
One or the other.
fresh and then upturned popcorn bucket, or it's a high percentage on critics, but the audience is like no
Right.
good. 3.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. The Letterboxd synopsis says this: some games you play, some games you survive. When her husband's sex game goes wrong, Jesse, who is handcuffed to a bed in a remote lake house, faces warped visions, dark secrets, and a dire choice.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Exactly. And let me tell you right now, if you're going into this movie and that's all you know, look out, because you're gonna be real surprised by the twists and turns of this movie. I knew nothing about this movie going in, and genuinely, it's slightly the way to go in, because if you know what's going to unfold in this movie, you probably won't watch it. It deals with really, really hard things.
Heavy stuff.
Like child trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That's not great.
No.
It deals with the possible R word, but not the handicap version of that word. I'm not going to say the 4-letter word that starts with R and ends with monkey.
Why?
Because people, first off, okay, I don't know how people are going to handle it. I had my conversation with you yesterday.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know how Spotify monitors this kind of stuff. That word, that 4-letter R word, is not good. It's not good, Steve. And I don't want to get this podcast fully taken down. Yeah, of course. I'm not saying that you're saying that it was. I just don't want to say it because but that's kind of what this movie feels very much like it wants to be a part of the conversation and show you in a very realistic way how people deal with that kind of stuff and how people suppress those kinds of things and how people go through life and make choices that are subconsciously subliminal, because it's kind of revealed that she marries Gerald, who has similar vibes of her dad, and that's pretty obvious psychology, like that daughters, quote unquote, marry their dads. But if your dad is that guy, probably don't do that. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Anyway, so this movie, I did not see that coming. So I thought this movie was going to be like this. Okay. Their marriage is kind of falling to pieces and they're going to go rekindle it, right? And then he's going to handcuff her. She's going to not be cool with it because he's going to go too hard in the paint. He's going to be like, fine, if you won't give me what I want, I'm not going to unhandcuff you. And from there, he's going to turn into the bad guy. Right? Not the direction this movie went.
No.
So brief summary. We'll just break this movie down.
Mhm.
The movie starts with them packing for the weekend, and he puts handcuffs on top of his bag, zips up the bag, and I think roll credits. Like, that's the beginning of this movie. And they go off for the weekend. And let me tell you right now, these two deserve Oscars for their performances. They deserve awards
Freaking tastic.
because it is. I knew nothing going into this movie, and she does a phenomenal job conveying how uncomfortable she is in this marriage. Like,
yes,
I'm talking pre.
So that's a good point. Yeah, she does.
Pre handcuffs. It's very clear that there is something going on under the surface. That they're maybe not even under the surface. Like, there is clearly something going on. And so they get to their remote house, and she wants to feed this dog, and he's like, no, you're not gonna freaking feed this stray dog. She does it anyway, and she does it with $200 Kobe beef.
Oh, I know.
And let me tell you,
a little bit.
when she did that, I sided with him and went, that dog can starve. You just fed that dog $200 a portion Kobe beef. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's dumb. And she's like, oh, well, I didn't know that it was expensive beef. Peek your head out of your hole every now and then and engage with the culture and learn what fine steak is. Anyway. So only like this, that has been the toxic masculine portion of this podcast. Now we enter back into. It's the only part of the movie that I sided with him.
Wow,
the only part that I was like, of course, he's clearly trying not to be upset with her because she did this. So also, they kind of get right into it. So they basically get there. They're not even unpacked yet. And he's like, hey, so do you wanna? And I was like, all right, calm down, dude. Like, calm down. And, but also, Mike Flanagan, like, and who is this actor? Why do I not have it pulled up? Who
the woman?
No, both the guy. What is his name? Cast. Bruce Greenwood does such a good job, like, really conveying the one-sidedness of intimacy between like a couple, because he is very non-emotionally focused. Because when they are engaged, he handcuffs her to the bed. She's incredibly apprehensive about it because, of course, you would be. And so then he flips the switch and turns into somebody else. So he starts role-playing unannounced. He doesn't...
Right.
He starts pretending to be her mistress, and I was like, and she's not vibing with it from jump. And he completely blows past that. And the whole time I'm like, dude, just look at your wife in her eyes and knock it off. Like,
well, then that's the whole thing. Like, you see from the beginning that he's going out on this weekend for him.
100% right? For him.
Because he's got this whole plan out. He's like this weird rape fantasy thing going on.
It's wild.
And which just makes my stomach turn.
Yeah. But
she's going out there for him and for their relationship.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's completely missing the point for him, and she's barking up the wrong tree.
Right. And
which is a bummer.
Yeah. So anyway, he has a Viagra beforehand. As
you do.
As you do. And I guess. And
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I guess. And so she's like, get the heck off me.
Yeah.
He kind of snaps out of it, and they start having a conversation like, let's actually heal the relationship. Why don't you unhandcuff me? We'll talk about this. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, what if I don't? And I go, here's the movie. This is where I
you
thought
guessed
the
it.
movie was going. This is where I thought the movie was going. And she's like, what? And he's like, what if I don't? And I'm like, oh, dang. But then he grabbed his chest. And I was like, brother, why are you rubbing your chest? And it was a blink and you miss it kind of rub. Like it. But I was like,
Right.
what's happening? Then he dies. He has a heart attack. He has a massive heart attack and he falls on top of her. And she freaks out and basically kicks him off the bed. And okay, here's my one qualm with this movie. There's a cat. I'm just kidding. It's not that. No. My one, I shouldn't say my one qualm with this movie. My first qualm with this movie is the fact that they left the door open. So she feeds the dog. He's trying not to be upset with her that she fed this stray dog $200 steak. He's like, yeah, do you want to go do whatever? And she's like, yeah, whatever. So then they go inside and neither one of them closes the front door. And that was my first, I was like, close the front door, close the door. Don't leave the door open. Sure, you're secluded, but this might go poorly because I don't know if you guys know this or not. You're in a horror movie.
Somebody should have told him.
Someone should have told him, you got to close the front door. You got to close the front door. My second qualm with the movie was the fact that he fell 2.5, 3 feet off the bed, hit his head, and bled out. And that bothered me. It bothered me because I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't play one on TV. I'm an idiot, okay? But my guess is that if I've fallen off the bed before onto both hardwood and carpet. I've never broken my skull open doing that. So I don't understand the logic of he's now in a pool of his own blood because he hit his head. How did you bust your face open like that? I don't understand. What did you do to cause that much blood? That just seemed odd to me.
I could see that. Like he was passed out, so he wasn't doing anything to catch himself.
Of course.
And
yes.
He goes head first. That was tile floor, hard tile floor.
I mean, I guess, but just that much blood just seemed like a lot to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you might get bruised. You might get a black eye. I'm just, how thin is your skin? Anyway, it's horror movies. Thin skin is like crazy. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So he dies, and you don't really realize it. Because I was like, Gerald, the movie is called Gerald's Game. This is all a part of this game. So he can't die
at the beginning.
No way he's going to die within the first 15 minutes of this freaking movie. This is all a ruse. Then the dog comes in the house and starts eating Gerald. And I go, maybe he is dead. Maybe he is dead. He's probably dead.
I think he died from the heart attack.
He did. He ended up dying from the heart attack. That's real.
I mean, before he bled out and stuff.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
The bleeding out was not the thing that killed him. He died of the heart attack right then and there. So her mind then fragments, turns out, as is a major plot after this, of the weirdest, most wildest therapy session in the world.
That's a good way to put it.
This is a crazy therapy session that she basically has with herself. Because she's handcuffed to a bed and the ghost of Gerald he appears. or
Right.
the Gerald that she has in her mind appears, because the version of herself that she has in her mind also appears, and they start having the three of them start having conversation, twists and turns to try to help her get out of these handcuffs, but it also dives into like this fragmenting and disassociating is what she does. And then they dive into the why she disassociates and
Right.
why she fragments. And the reason is because when she was 12, she got her first period, and her dad did some not so great things. And then I think the second most uncomfortable scene, the first most uncomfortable scene is the first like 11 minutes when
Right.
Gerald's trying to get his jollies, whatever, and she's clearly not having it. The second most uncomfortable scene for me was probably when 12-year-old Jessie is on the bed and her dad walks in the room and basically convinces her that it's her idea to keep this thing a secret. That was physically, I mean, it made me so upset. It made me uncomfortable. Because he's basically like, I think we should keep this a secret, but maybe you're going to want to
total
tell.
manipulation.
And
it's creepy.
Do you want to tell your mom? I mean, your relationship with your mom is not necessarily great, and this might really
like make her sad.
Do you really want to do that? I want to do what's best, whatever you think, sweetheart. And I was like, oh, like it's the kind of scene that makes you hate. It's the kind of scene that connects that scene with an actor to where you can't unsee that scene every time you see that actor. Like, for example,
right,
whenever I watch the movie The Patriot, that guy killed Heath Ledger, right? Like, have you seen The Patriot? Do you remember that?
It's been a while. Yeah.
Like, and it's this heart-wrenching scene. And from that point, that particular actor has just, like, I can't unsee that scene. And then he played, like,
really?
Malfoy's dad in Harry Potter.
Okay.
Like, he's just been the bad guy, right?
Right.
And
he's a bad guy in a lot of stuff, yeah.
He's a bad guy in a lot of stuff. And so, like, but that scene, I was thankful that I watched this after I've seen that actor in several other things to help me kind of calibrate a little bit, because it is the kind of scene that, yeah, I just probably unfairly associate with an actor, and then it ruins that actor for me.
Yeah.
Which again, Henry Thomas, phenomenal actor, but too much, bro. And also, you're just an actor. Like, Mike Flanagan freaking wrote this thing, so if we're gonna, the buck stops there.
Yeah.
But this movie takes. I did tell Casey, I said, this movie is so very much different. Like, it's different from just your camp counselors getting hacked up.
Yeah.
By some supernatural hockey mask wearing serial killer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would much rather watch that than the real life horror of child abuse and
yeah,
like, it's uncomfortable. I also don't get the connection between Gerald's game and what happened, because I don't see the game in this. It's not, he didn't plan on getting a heart attack. It seems like a completely freak accident. It seems like there's no sex game. Like, he's
that's what that was what it was. I thought, like, that his game was to, like, just do the sex game thing, and then he died.
I guess I wouldn't call it a game.
Okay.
Anyway, but I also don't know what you would call the movie. So
yeah.
I have no I'm only
Gerald
providing
bites it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's spoiler right there. You can't say that. Yeah. Um, Limp Gerald. You might call it that. Yeah. It's also like there's a line in, and I'm probably gonna butcher the line, but there's a line in the movie that's like, um, like you're gonna like you're gonna die over Gerald's 5 inches or something like that. It's so funny to me.
That's right.
It's so funny to me. Yeah. So anyway, this movie, despite the fact that it was genuinely, and I mean genuinely uncomfortable for me to watch,
Yeah.
because of the hard stuff that it dealt with, which I think is important to. I was telling you this yesterday. Like, it's important to have these types of conversations, but not everybody has the emotional bandwidth to have those conversations.
Right.
The trauma is very real in that. So this movie is, I think it plays a good role in showing you the horrors of this type of situation without really showing you, obviously, what specifically happened, because they only really talk about it. All of the scenes with her and her dad walk you basically right up to the action, but never really show you.
Yep.
But I would not recommend this movie to everybody. And it's okay to, if you want to watch it and get to a specific space and then just turn it off, and because you can't watch it, I fully understand. And I'm almost positive that Mike Flanagan probably knows that too. Like,
yeah,
I'm just realizing that it's like super dark in this room.
Right.
And so yeah, it's not for everybody. Having said that, I'm gonna give this movie what? It's weird to say popcorn bucket, because I don't know what the popcorn bucket of this particular movie would be. I don't really want to imagine what the popcorn bucket would be.
Maybe it would be a degloved hand. Hand with all.
Maybe it would be
that was a brutal part of the movie, buddy.
Maybe it would be the box of trinkets that Lurch had.
Oh, right.
Okay. Yeah, because Lurch is in this movie. And also, third qualm. She walks into an active courtroom and no one says a freaking thing. I know. And I went, this is a high-profile serial killer, or high-profile, like, this guy is robbing graves, cutting off limbs of dead people, and then he finally actually killed somebody. And during his arraignment, you just walk in order to confront your... No! And then she walked out in the end of the movie.
Yeah, I thought, it was,
And I was like, yeah, for metaphoric purposes,
right,
yes, fine. Confront your animal, confront the beast, confront your demons. I get it. But also, that was real life. Like, that didn't happen in her mind. She actively walked into the courtroom during and no bailiff, no police officer stopped her and went, like, the judge went, ma'am.
Well, I mean, and that was it. You can walk into a courtroom as long as you're not going up past that line where the lawyers are, right?
She walked right up to him and goes, "You are smaller than I remember," and then turned around and walked out.
I did love how. Did you notice that it flashed for a second and the bad dude was her dad?
Yes, that was the point. That's why I said for metaphoric purposes.
Sure.
It flashed all three guys. It flashed the serial killer. It flashed her dad, and it flashed Gerald. For metaphoric purposes, I know what you're trying to do. Okay,
right.
So I gave you a ton of grace for that. If I go realistic, though, I'm like, this would have never happened. You can't just barge into a courtroom like that.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
During an active, like, massive trial. Okay. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. I'm probably going to give
One of the
this
things
movie
you got to let it go.
exactly. Yeah, because it's meant to be metaphoric. That's what it's
Right,
meant to be.
right.
I'm going to give this movie I'm going to give this movie probably just a 4.
Okay.
4 out of 5 because it was good at what it wanted to do. Mike is a phenomenal director. He is a phenomenal writer, and this movie. I don't think that this movie is perfect. I may come down to a 3.5. This movie is not entirely perfect. I don't know. It's a delicate balance because I don't know what to give a movie like this because it deals with some hard kind of things, and I'm obviously not condoning those things. So on an initial viewing, I'm going to say 4 out of 5. Though the content is not for everyone.
Right.
So
kind of a content warning thing on that one.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the movies that we watch come with content warnings because they are horror related.
Right.
But I think you can disassociate to some degree because those movies are not dealing with realistic kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But this movie is very much dealing with, like, a central theme of this movie is it dealing with disassociating because you were harmed as a child.
Right.
And then how you've made decisions in your life because of that trauma.
To kind of keep that kind of trauma in your life.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And she does turn it into a good thing in the end. She starts that foundation for boys and girls who have gone through all of this kind of stuff, and she owns her own trauma and she's dealing with it and she's all of this stuff, right? Which is it's a good story. It's a good message, but the subject matter is just not for everybody, you know?
Fair enough.
So anyway, that's
I'm
4 out of 5.
Glad you made it through. It was very uncomfortable at times for sure. But yeah, I mean, but as far as Stephen King adaptations go, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah,
and you can tell even though even having not read the short story itself, it's just a good movie. I mean, Mike Flanagan, man,
it's Mike Flanagan.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what do you got in store for me next time, Zach?
That's a great question. Let's find out. All right. Let's take a spin here. Okay, here's it's an odd movie, Steve, but I think you may enjoy it.
All right.
Listen, you're either going to enjoy it or you're not. Okay.
That's how these things usually go.
Typically. Okay. The movie is called All Fun and Games. Let me make sure that you haven't seen this movie yet. It's on your want to watch list.
2023.
All Fun and Games. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Now, technically, this has a 1.9 rating on Letterboxd. Okay. So that's why I said it's a quirky little movie. It's not the best movie ever, but who knows? You may really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's on my list, so
it's on your list at least. So it's called All Fun and Games.
Cool, got it. And Zach, for you,
for me,
I have. How busy is your week?
Is this going to take me the whole week to freaking watch? I'm already doing that with The Front Room, just parceling this movie out for the rest of my life. I'll finish it by the time I'm 90. It's normal busy.
Okay. Well, the two movies I have been wanting to pick from are both movies you have to read.
Oh no.
One's longer than the other one.
Oh no, Steve.
I'll give you the short one. That with children in it.
Oh no. I'm gonna have to read it, and it's also torturing children. Fantastic.
No, it's no children. So the children aren't the children are doing the torturing. But, No spoilers. It's originally in the Norwegian language, so it's almost like English. You probably don't have to read the subtitles. It's called The Innocents. Not the innocence like the value of being innocent, but the innocents, like innocent people.
Is this 2021?
Correct.
Okay, because I typed in The Innocents and several movies came up.
Right. 2021.
4.5 stars. Dang, dude.
Yeah. It's on Shudder right now.
Okay. Add to list so that we don't have to ask you later on this week. Fantastic.
So you're gonna love it, and it's
I'm gonna love it.
Love
4 children become
love
friends during a summer holiday, or the summer holidays, as you do.
Right.
4th of July. That's the only summer holiday.
That's what they meant. Yeah.
Yeah, the summer holidays. yeah. The great Norwegian holiday of the 4th of July.
Right.
Yeah. And out of sight of the adults, they discover they have hidden powers. I'm in so far. While exploring their newfound abilities, nearby forests and playgrounds, their innocence takes a dark turn and strange things begin to happen. Of course, this movie's about puberty. This movie's about puberty, isn't it? That's the strange power. It's not a metaphor. The strange powers aren't a metaphor, Steve.
I mean, I don't think so.
Just saying. Every movie that I've ever watched apparently has some sort of deeper metaphor, and I'm trying to figure that out before I watch it. Okay? Now, having said that, I will laugh really hard when I'm clearly wrong. When I watch this movie and go, way off. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. All right, well, I'm going to go order some pizza. And
that sounds really good.
Yeah.
I might copy you.
I'm going to order some pizza. I think we got some coupon codes that we want to cash in.
Nice.
So try to get some
Domino's
pizza.
has some good stuff in their app. Domino's has good deals in their app.
I think that's the place we might go. So
yeah, nice.
I'm not going to say the pizza is going to be good, but it's going to be just fine.
They put enough addictive chemicals in it, make you crave it fortnightly.
Yes. Freaking Domino's.
That's from So I Married an Axe Murderer.
I've never seen that movie.
Dude.
Mike Myers, I've never seen it.
Dude.
Married. All right, I'm going to write it down. What is it?
So funny. So I Married an Axe Murderer.
So I Married an Axe Murderer. Okay.
Put the Colonel, with his wee beady eyes, puts an addictive chemical in the chicken that makes you crave it fortnightly.
Oh my god. Okay.
My wife and I quote that movie constantly. So
when I get to that part, I'll take a screenshot and send it to you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, have a good week. Enjoy the pizza. Don't eat it all at once.
I won't do that. Okay. Okay, see ya. All right, listeners, that's a wrap for another episode of Horrors Yet Unseen. Thanks for joining us.
And we'd love for you to become part of the conversation. Just drop us a voicemail at 1-216-202-5495 or email us at horrorsyetonunseen@gmail.com. And keep up with the latest by following us on Instagram. That handle is @horrorsyetonunseenpod. We'd also appreciate it if you like and review our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your support means a lot to us. See you next time.